Aye, boom. Drake and Central C just dropped their On The Radar freestyle, and obviously it's popping everywhere. I'm recording this basically as soon as it's dropped. I don't know the extent of how viral this is gonna go, but it's literally trending #1 on music right now. It's funny how Central snubbed the XXL freestyle, and in the same week just released his own freestyle with Drake, trying to show on XXL that he's not really a freshman. But anyway, the beat that they use is pretty different. Kinda like Jersey, but not really. And it's kinda like drill, but not really. It's just kind of some weird blend of both of them. It sounds very Cash Cobain inspired though. But with that being said, I thought it was a good idea to try and make a video and show you how to make these type of beats. So without further ado, let's just get into it. To be honest, the beat isn't exactly anything too crazy. It's got a bit of a different bounce. The main thing you've got to get right with these beats is the sample. Sample needs to have some kind of like wow factor about it, or else the beat just sounds a bit dead. I'm going to show you a couple of ways that you can get some samples like the Drake and Cinch one. First option, the most obvious option, just sample a song that's already out there. Samples that would fit this kind of style are 90s R&B, 2000s R&B, eventually some kind of like soul stuff. Once you find your sample, I would definitely recommend running it through some kind of AI separator, so therefore you can get the stems of the sample so you have no drums, or just take out the vocals, take out the melody, whatever. You can use Moises.ai, you can use la.ai, you can use melody.ml, I believe. There's loads of different options nowadays, but sampling songs can be a bit stressful at times. You can spend countless hours looking for samples, trying to fit drums around samples, and they just don't work. The second option, which I use quite a lot, is Splice. Splice is literally so good for finding these kind of samples. And no, this isn't a sponsored video, I wish it was, but I just hopped on Splice and I found literally like 10 different samples all fit in this kind of style. Search things like future soul, R&B, soul, even things like vintage jazz. So this is the sample that I've ended up going with from Splice. Drake song was at 150 BPM, so we're in 150 BPM also. First thing we want to do, if you're using samples like this, I would definitely suggest pitching them up. We're going to pitch this up like 500 cents. The thing is, when you're using samples and melodies like this, sometimes the vocals that are already in these samples can take up too much headspace where the artist would actually be singing. Get yourself an EQ and you want to cut out some of this high end. Now, it's personal preference how much high end you want to take out. We're going to take some of the low end out as well. Like you could come all the way to here. It is important that you take some sort of high end out. And that's basically it for the sampling. Next, we're gonna get the counter snare pattern down, because that's kind of like the main kind of bounce of the beat. The counter snare does follow somewhat of a drill pattern, and what you want to do, you can just kind of copy and paste this over. Kind of mess with the velocities a little bit. This way you can kind of create a nicer bounce. Next, we have some kind of snare pattern in the beat, and it's kind of giving a bit of an offbeat feel. It sounds something like this. You just want to place it on the third of each kind of blocks. But I would definitely advise, if you're using a snare, to just probably pitch it up a little bit, because in the beat it sounds quite pitched up. And then you just want to repeat that over again. Let's tackle this kind of weird 808. Honestly, never heard a beat with an 808 pattern like this. I'm going to lay it out on the pattern grid so you can kind of see what the actual bounce is. I'm going to put it in key then straight after. I believe it's something like this. And then it just repeats. Now, I'm not really the biggest fan of this. We're just going to pitch it up. We're going to press Control and L to kind of bring everything over. Bit of a gap in the middle here. And then we've basically just followed this pattern for the rest of the beat, just following the root notes, and it sounds like this. Low-key think whoever made this beat used my Jersey 808, because if you compare these two 808s in the Cinch and Drake song and this 808 here, they sound pretty much identical. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to copy and paste all this over, and we're going to make the next pattern unique, and this is where we're going to bring in the kick. And then the kick pattern is as follows. that's basically it for the drums. If I was producing it, I'd probably add in a couple of little extra things. Like at the start of the bar, let's add in this little snuff perk. I think that just adds a nice bit of bounce with the kick. We'll probably layer it for every kind of kick section. And we're also adding in that classic Jersey click. Now, because their song was a freestyle, it didn't exactly have much structure to it, but I'm going to structure this as if it was actually going to be a full song. Just change up the 808 ever so slightly. I feel like we should lead the 808 with a bit of a Jersey section. That bounce is kind of tough. And I feel like I should do some example of some kind of like bridge section also. Clone the melody over. We're then going to half-time this melody. We're then going to add this little crowd clapping noise. This is also from my Jersey stash. I use this a lot of the times in Jersey beats for like bridge sections. And I feel like we need a different kind of kick. So I think we're going to do like kick patterns like this. Leave a bit of space. I'll run it back now and play it on full and just kind of show how everything links into each other. Let me know in the comments if you're feeling the Cinch and Drake song. Let me know if you're not feeling it. Let me know what you think. It's kind of wavy, I can't lie. But yeah, man, run me up on Instagram and Twitch because they're the only two things to care about. I'm out. Good luck, see you later. Bow.